Session 7, Qur'an Elaborated. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and merciful. Nahmadu nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem, and blessings on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the last and the final prophet. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. O my Rabb, open my heart, ease my task. We continue with Surah Fatiha, the second surah, and today we shall, inshallah, by the grace, if Allah desires, covers verses 28 to 34. Verse 28 reads, كَيْفَ تَكْفُرْ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ كَيْفَ تَكْفُرُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا فَأَحْيَاكُمْ ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. Translation: How is it that you have refuted, denied Allah, whereas you were lifeless, non-existent? Then He raised you, gave you life. Then He'll cause you death. Then He raised. My apologies. I read again. How is it that you have refuted, denied Allah, whereas you were lifeless, non-existent? Then He raised you, gave you life. Then He'll cause you death, then re-raise you, and then you will be returned to Him. Allah has mentioned three character traits of the disbelievers. First, that they break the covenant made with Allah. Second, that they disregard the rights of their close relatives. Thirdly, they create chaos and disorder in the land. The first relates to the rights of Allah and our obligations to Allah. They neither have the ordered and the desired belief. I repeat, the first relates to the rights of Allah and our obligations to Allah. They neither have the ordered and the desired belief in Allah, nor do they worship Him which they have been ordered. Nor do they worship Him which they have been ordered. The second and the third relates to the rights of the people. The rights of the relatives which have been ordained by Allah are important, for their deliverance makes a clean, comfortable, and a useful society. The second and the third relates to the rights of the people. The rights of the relatives which have been ordained by Allah are important, for their deliverance makes a clean, comfortable, and a useful society. To the contrary, if fathers, sons, brothers, husbands, and wives are cut off from each other, that is, they disregard each other's rights and obligations, it leads to the ruination of the families and the family system on which the human society is structured. Therefore, the net result and consequence is frictions and disorder in the society. To resolve this misery, they create a new principle. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. Consequently, every individual lives alone for himself only. That is, I do not belong to anyone, and no one belongs to me. I repeat, consequently, every individual lives alone for himself only. That is, I do not belong to anyone, and no one belongs to me. So they live as lonely creatures and die in the old people's homes. As such, Quran has mentioned about breaking ties with the relatives and creation of disorder on land together in Surah 47, Muhammad verse 22. I read, فَهَلْ أَسَيْتُمْ إِن لَوْ لَيْتُمْ إِن أَن تَفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَتُقَطِّعُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ. Translation: Now, what can be expected of you if you are put in authority, other than to do evil in the land and violate the ties of blood? This was 47 Surah Muhammad, verse 22. Verse 29. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا ثم استوى على السماء فسواهن سبع سماوات وهو بكل شيء عليم. Translation 29. He is the one who created each and everything that is on the earth, then directed himself towards the sky, thus put 7 skies in order, and Allah is knowing, aware of each and everything. Explanation. Attention is being invited to the facts that everything man benefits from in his life and from this world has been provided by Allah. Each and everything is testifying, proving that Allah is the only God, and besides Him there is none. Each and everything is testifying, proving that Allah is the only God, and besides Him there is none. In spite of this, disbelieving is being totally ungrateful. In spite of this, disbelieving is being totally ungrateful. Religious scholars have deduced from it that every eatable in the world is halal, permissible, unless there is an evidence from Qur'an and Sunnah that it is haram, forbidden. Verse 30. بسم الله وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً قَالُوا أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ وَنُقَدِّسُ لَكَ قَالَ إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Translation 30. And when your Rabb, Lord, Creator, Sustainer, addressed the angels and said, I am going to make a vicegerent, caliph on earth, the angels said, O Allah, are you going to establish on earth someone who will create chaos, misery, anarchy on it, and cause bloodshed? And whereas we recite your praises and keep remembering, glorifying your perfect self, Allah said, definitely, I am aware of what you do not know. In verses 21 and 22, strong reasoning was given to say that He who has created you has the right to be worshipped. In verse 28, this misdoing of man was criticized that this act is quite strange. Now the entire act of creation of man is being given to strengthen the argument. Here man has been called a caliph, which means that he obeys the orders of Allah and in accordance with his power gets them obeyed from others too, which means, I repeat, that he obeys the orders of Allah and in accordance with his power gets them obeyed from others too. The angels were not refuting the intent of Allah. but were wonderstruck and worried that God is going to create such a Genesis which along with the ability to obey, will be given the capability to disobey him as well. This may lead to the probability of creation of fasad, disorder on earth. Certain scholars have mentioned this too, that before the creation of man, jinns were created on earth who kept fighting and finished each other. The angels thought that the outcome of creation of man would also be the same, mutual destruction. Verse 31. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ عَرَضَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَقَالَ أَنبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Translation: And Allah taught Adam the names of all the things, then presented all these things to the angels, and then said, Give me the names of these, if you are right. Explanation: By name it is meant everything that exists in the universes, their characteristics, and their varying conditions and modes. For example, hunger, thirst, health, diseases, etc. Whereas the angels were present when Adam was being taught. However, understanding such things was not a part of their nature. As such, when they were questioned about these things, they could not reply. So they were made aware practically that the work, their duties, the job that is intended and desired to be taken from man cannot be performed by the angels. Verse 32. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Translation 32. The angel said, You are above all infirmities, absolutely perfect. We do not know anything except what you teach us. Definitely, you are the actual and the only, all-knowing, all-wise. Though the angels were present when Adam was being educated, but since they didn't have the capability of understanding or remembering such things, so they failed to tell when put to test. What is derived from their answer is that we only have the knowledge which you desire to give us and create in us the desired capability. Verse 33-34. قال يا آدم أنبئكم بأسمائكم فلما أنبأكم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تعبدون وما كنتم تكتمون. 34. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ قَالَ أَبَى وَاسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Translations 33. Allah said, O Adam, tell the angels the names of these things. Then he gave out the names of those things. Allah said, Didn't I tell you that I know very well the secrets of the skies and the earth, and know what you show and what you conceal? 34. And when we ordered the angels to prostrate before Adam, all fell into prostration as a token of respect, which a respect except Iblis. And when we ordered the angels to prostrate before Adam, all fell into prostration as a token of respect except Iblis, Satan. He disobeyed and became arrogant, and he was among the disbelievers. Explanation. The angels were asked to prostrate before Adam to show the practical greatness of Adam and to test them. It was not a prostration for ibadah, worshipping, but prostration for respect, and was permissible in earlier Sharia's religious instructions. Subsequently, this was forbidden strictly. Even as a mere mode of respect, to eliminate the possibility of any shirk or pantheism, whereas it was the angels who were ordered directly to prostrate, but it included all living things and creatures. As such, Satan, the devil, who was among the jinns, was also required to obey compulsorily. However, as it has been given in Qur'an and at other places, he said to God, "You have created me from fire and Adam from mud. Therefore, I am better than him, superior to him." He said to God, "You have created me from fire and Adam from mud. Therefore, I am better than him, superior to him." This is Surah 7, Al-Araf, verse 12. As a matter of interest, our entire democratic system is structured on these words of the Satan, the devil. As a matter of interest, our entire democratic system is structured on these words of the Satan, the devil: "I am better than him. I am better than him." That is all other candidates. So vote for me, elect me, choose me as your leader, representative. There is yet another greater flaw in democracy for the Muslims. In democracy, the principle is majority is authority. The person getting the maximum votes becomes a member of the Parliament Assembly. These members can change the existing laws, rules, and regulations and replace them with new ones, and yet change the new ones and make other rules. Thus, the rules remain in a state of flux, that is, ever changing. The character of the lawmakers permeates in the quality of the rules. Now, the West is also fed up of democracy, and it is likely to be discarded in a few years. In Islam, on the other hand, Allah is the only lawgiver, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his representative. I repeat, in Islam, on the other hand, Allah is the only lawgiver, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his representative. As such, Qur'an and Hadith are the permanent laws. Rules, regulations. That is Sharia, religious order of Islam. No new law can be made in negation, contravention to Quran and Hadith. No new law can be made in negation, contravention to Qur'an and Hadith. That is orders, sayings of the Prophet. We learn two lessons from this happening or occurrence. First, do not consider yourself superior to others, and do not keep bragging about your own superiority. First, do not consider yourself superior to others, and do not keep bragging about your own superiority. Second, when there comes any clear-cut order from Allah and His Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, one's duty is to obey straight away, whether he understands the hikmah, inner purpose, and advantages or not. Second, when there comes any clear-cut order from Allah and His Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, one's duty is to obey straight away, whether he understands the hikmah, inner purpose, and advantages or not. As we all know, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a walking Qur'an, that is, Qur'an incarnate, Qur'an in human shape. I repeat, as we all know, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a walking Qur'an, the Qur'an incarnate, Qur'an in human shape. May Allah give us the ability to follow the Prophet at all times, at all places, and at all occasions throughout our lives. Ameen. May it be like that. Jazakallah. That's all for today. Ex-Brigadier Mustansar Billah.